and welcome to week 3. Last week things went pretty smoothly. Your discussion post provided really interesting information about disorders, and you had some creative plans for intervening to help children with obesity, and really interesting Piagetian lesson plans. You had a lot of great responses, and some of you got some really good back and forth on your posts, so that was great. I'd like to see more of you doing that, but I was really glad to see the improvements. Just a note, because this will be relevant in the future, for any assignments where I ask you to find external sources, please make sure to put them in your own words and then cite the source before posting it on Moodle. Another thing that I noticed in reviewing last week's information was that some of you are struggling with the tests. Just some general advice: remember that although the tests are open book and open notes, you don't have enough time to look up every question. You should plan to study the notes and the text before you take the test so you know the material. There were a few questions that were problematic, so I ended up adding 1 point to everyone for Chapter 14 and 2 points to everyone's Chapter 6 test scores. If we go down to this week, you'll see that the first thing you have to do is your final project plan. So as I pointed out before, all of the information is actually in the general section for your final project. And I thought I'd start by reviewing the basic final project. So if we look at this document right here, your final project assignment, and we go up to the top, basically the idea is that you're going to make a fake website designed to either help teachers understand and promote a specific aspect of child development or to help children progress in a certain aspect of their development. You're going to need to be sure that you have a really clearly defined target skill and need to really clearly define who your audience is. So this is kind of the basic descriptions of what you need if you're going to do the teacher one. Here's what you need if you're going to do the child-focused one. So you need to have that clearly designed target and who your audience is. You need to develop some kind of interactive component. It doesn't actually have to work, so you don't need to logistically figure out how to do it, but basically what you need to do is describe how it would work. You'll also need at least 3 separate activities or pages. So if you're doing games to develop some kind of skill, you'll need 3 separate games. And you need to cite at least 3 external sources other than your textbook. 2 of these sources must be peer-reviewed empirical articles, which means you need to find them on EBSCO. We mentioned this before, but if you want to find articles on EBSCO and haven't done it before, here's the video guide to how to do that. For this week, what you need to do for this is to submit your proposal. The proposal can be in Microsoft Word, and I actually have an example here. This is what the example looks like. And basically, it should outline the basic topic your website is covering, who your target audience is. It should also provide information about your external sources and describe how your website is going to be interactive. So this is a very generic example of what you might have so that you can get a sense of what you'd like me or what I'd like you to include. And just note that your evaluation guidelines are on this rubric, so these are the things that I'm going to be grading you on: interactive, relevant, instructive, creative, and professional. These are the things I'm looking for in your final product. At this point, we're not quite there yet, but be thinking about this as you're planning out your project. If we go back to this week on Moodle, in addition to your final project proposal, we're covering 3 chapters again. First, we're going to continue with cognitive development. For this chapter on your discussion forum, what you're going to be covering is developing an intervention program to improve cognitive skills for a specific age range. So for this, you should use your textbook and at least one other source. The source can be a website. And then, of course, respond to other people's sources. And we're going to skip Chapter 8 just because of time constraints. So next we'll cover language development. I've got a few videos for this chapter, and then our discussion forum is going to focus on the costs and benefits of linguistic diversity in the classroom and how teachers can best handle this. And then on Chapter 10, we're covering the development of various academic domains. And for the discussion forum, we're actually going to get a little bit away from the typical classroom and focus on whether very young children actually have the ability to learn to read. And I'm going to ask you to evaluate a program that's designed to do this. So there is a small clip that you're going to watch and then post your response in answering these questions. And as usual, you have a test for each of the 3 chapters, and that'll be kind of your final assignments for this week. So your final project plan gets submitted here. This is the first time you've done one like this, but basically you'll click on it and you can add your submission here. So have a great week. If you have any questions, as usual, contact me. And otherwise, I look forward to reading your discussion posts.